Ladies and gentlemen, week 11 of MLB action is upon us. June is almost done. July is around the corner, and with July comes the All-Star game. Get your votes in, people. Go vote. You can vote however you want to vote, but early voting is coming in, and it is definitely a popularity contest. So if you see your guys up there and you're like, where the heck are my guys? Go. You can vote up to 5 times.
What? I thought All-Star voting was completely merit-based.
Oh no! They want the people because we the people view the All-Star game.
Totally
So
kidding. I mean, yeah, it's when you've
yeah,
got fans involved with it. I mean, objectivity is going to go out the door.
yes, I do wish they have like a minimum like OPS level for each one or something like that, where it's like you have to reach a minimum OPS threshold in order to qualify. I wish, but hey, whatever. Until then, I mean, we got that. We got immaculate innings to talk about. Shameless homerism, but it is history. And then we had the debut of Pittsburgh Pirates' O'Neal Cruz. A lot of fun stuff to talk about. So much more. No Doubt of the Week, Power Rankings. It's all here. Thank y'all so much for joining us. I am your co-host, Barrett Boombastic, joined as always by my co-host and right-hand man, Travis T-Bone Laughley. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. Yeah, it's crazy to think that June is almost done. That means half of 2022 is almost completely over at this point now.
I know,
Yeah, we
dude.
entered the second half. We're officially at the summer solstice right now as we're recording this year. The astronomical summer has officially begun. The longest days of the year kind of right around this point here. And then we begin our descent through the rest of the summer. The rest of the hot days then, but soon enough, October will be upon us, and the race for the World Series. So yeah, baseball just it flies by every single year. And what we're at a point where there really is some of the best baseball and the best storylines coming out of the sport right now. So it's a great time to be a Major League Baseball fan.
It really is. Baseball is at its peak during this time. There's just so much baseball action, more than you can ever count on. And really, with MLB, it's relentless. But now with the College World Series, it's just double relentless. It's just, oh man, it's America's greatest pastime. However you
And
want to enjoy it.
we'll have that update coming to you Thursday night. We'll be recording then. We'll go live,
Sweet.
so can tune in with us. You can then download the episode the next day, get for your viewing pleasure. At that point, we will cover the first half. We're down to a couple of the last elimination games here. The semifinals are almost set for the College World Series. Almost a full week into action out in Omaha. We're getting down to getting closer to see who's going to play for the title this year. So some fun stuff to talk about Thursday night. But we've got Major League Baseball in the meantime.
In the meantime, the show. We're going to talk about the show and some new additions to the show, the millionaires, the money bags. But we're going to start things off like we always do for every MLB show with the No Doubter of the Week. And we have our first ever repeat No Doubter. It goes once again to a member of the Mile High Club. The Chicago, I almost called them the Chicago Rockies. Wow, wow! Is it Monday? No,
I mean, when the Cubs play in Chicago, it really kind of does become the Chicago Rockies almost. There's a lot of Cubs blue that's that's their Coors Field, but that's completely besides the point.
I am, of course, talking about the Colorado Rockies.
Look what we've done here.
Look what we've done here. I need to go back to Colorado. It's a gorgeous state. This is what this is telling me. But anyway, CJ Cron of the Colorado Rockies. We had to give it to him again. Now again, take this home run with a grain of salt. It is in Denver, Mile High. The ball flies more there. Still, despite the fact that it is in Mile High, Denver, Colorado, he still hit the ball a whopping 430 and 86 feet. So let us set the scene. You've got Gore on the mound. Bottom of the fifth inning. The Rockies are already up. It's a 1-0 count. CJ Cron bashes it into left center field over the hot dog stand. Look at that. Sends him scrambling. I mean, at Mile High Stadium, Coors Field, if you're able to hit it in that concourse right there, I mean, I don't care that it's Denver. You have to have some serious strength. He's hit 17 bombs this year, and it goes right over there. I mean, they have
Yeah,
to do the
because Coors
scramble.
Field is a very vertical park. Like it's
Oh
like
yeah,
the seats really kind of go up. You can look at that clip there, looking back
yeah.
towards the backstop. It's yeah, you really get up there pretty quick for sure.
Oh yeah, CJ Crone, our first repeat no doubter of the week, because he was born to play in Denver. I mean, he's got so much strength, and he takes advantage of the Mile High every chance he can get. 486 feet. That was his second homer of the game. 111.2 miles per hour off the bat, 27-degree launch angle. Hitting it off of 80-mile-an-hour curveball from Mackenzie Gore. But congrats, man. You're giving the home crowd something to cheer about, because if you look at the standings, you don't have anything else to cheer about.
The 5 minutes of glory that the Rockies had at the beginning of the year has long gone at this point now.
It sure has. But hey, they still love going to those games. I mean, come on, Chris Bryant. It's so exciting. Their division is tough to get to.
Yes.
To be fair, but still, I mean.
So CJ Cron is our first repeat,
Yes.
no doubter of the week this season. But I feel like we've had multiple no doubters of the week that have happened both at Coors and then now at Kauffman in Kansas City. And so
yeah.
I feel like we're at a certain point where we're going to need to maybe limit the repeats that come out of those two parks, because they are such offensive parks that we gotta find some homers that come from more cavernous parks.
Yeah, I don't know. We will do our best to not do any more Mile High ones, but I mean, come on, 486 feet. That's insane. That's like home run derby level insane. And it was in that game, but hey, all subjective, all for your viewing pleasure. And if you're just listening to this episode on the podcast, you need to watch the YouTube channel so you can watch the home run with us. So just look us up on YouTube channel. You can watch it with us. That's the best way to do this.
Mash that subscribe button.
Do it. Hit the subs. Give us a dub with the sub. Anyway, before we get into the meat of it, we have some impressing business to take care of. And it starts with my Houston Astros. And now, again, this isn't the bias talking about. The Astros literally made history. So it is historic, so you have to talk about it. Everyone is talking about it, so we have to talk about it. So, Travis Lofley, there have been over 218,000 Major League Baseball games played in MLB history. So if you multiply that by 9, that is about 1.9 million innings. If you take in the fact that a lot of those games were extra innings, the amount of total innings that have taken place is well over 2 million. That's a lot of innings, right? There have been only 105 immaculate. So, Trav, can you tell me what an immaculate inning is? What do you on the spot?
I'm going to give my best guess to this, as this is not prepared here in my notes. I'm going to guess that an immaculate inning, and so this is asking for a little pointer here. Is the immaculate inning ultimately driven by what the pitcher does?
Yes,
I take it. Okay, so immaculate inning is a all strikes, no balls inning.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes,
you did it.
First try.
You did it. I mean, you had. I mean, you know the meaning of the word, and so I mean, you just have to put two and two together. Yeah. But that is exactly. What
it's got to be something that's pretty special if it's called an immaculate inning.
Yes,
it's got to be pretty tough to do. So I was just thinking, okay, what's the most perfect inning that could happen for a pitcher there? And I'm like, yep, no balls, all strikes. There we go.
Exactly. So only 105 times in history, have immaculate innings been pitched? And it is. They throw 9 strikes. It's just all strikes, strike out the side. And that's only happened 105 times. The Astros threw the 104th and the 105th immaculate inning the other day. And this was the first time in MLB history that 2 immaculate innings were thrown in the same game. So that's historic. But again, it was also the 104th and the 105th. So, I mean, these clearly do not happen that often. And they threw it against your Texas Rangers on June 15th. But you know what's even more funny? Luis Garcia and Phil Maton, pitchers for the Astros, they both threw it. One of them, I believe, in the 2nd, and one of them in the 6th. But here's what's funny. They threw it against the same 3 batters on the Rangers. The same 3 batters were immaculate pitched. It was not their night.
Remind me who they were.
The batters that they faced? Man, Nathaniel O, Ezekiel Duran, and Brad Miller.
Okay, I was thinking,
twice.
Lowe and Duran. I was thinking, we're probably likely to be in there. But then Brad Miller. It's
yes. It was just a bad night for them. The pitchers had their stuff working, and the batters just couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. So it was the perfect storm. 2 immaculate innings. Astros made history, and they won the series. So, you know, hey, the Rangers, I mean, they're clawing their way up. So, I mean, you can just kind of shake it off. Right?
Yep.
But history has indeed been made. And now we move on to the debut of a man who has been the victim of service time manipulation. It is where they intentionally delay the debut of a rookie who is clearly ready, so that way they can get 7 years of control. This whole time, and he was getting bored out of his mind. Why is he bored out of his mind? Because he's 6'7" and he has muscles on top of muscles, and he is clearly ready from the very beginning. He knows what's happening. Everybody knows what's happening. So Pittsburgh Pirates, you cheap, bleeps. You've done this. You're the reason why tankers suck and bottom dwellers are horrible for the sport. But you did what you did. There was nothing against the rules technically, so I guess Pittsburgh gets to enjoy him for 7 years unless they trade him, I guess. So it wouldn't surprise me if they did, because or they could do the right thing and they can do what the Padres did with Tatis and just give him, I don't know, give him 150 million. See if he takes it. I don't know. Because seriously, in his debut, which took place on June 20th, which was yesterday, he did 3 things. He had the hardest throw by an infielder so far this year. He threw a ball from shortstop to first, 96.7 miles an hour. This is like Carlos Correa level insanity. He hit the hardest hit ball by a Pittsburgh Pirate, 112.9 miles per hour off the bat. And he had the 3 fastest sprint speeds of the year by a Pirate, 31.5 miles per hour, 30.7, and 30.3. So he broke all those records in his first game. It's this guy. You got to watch him, Trav. He's a beast. He's a lefty. He's 6'7". He's a monster. I mean, he's probably going to win Rookie of the Year next year. I mean, unless he just goes insane the rest of the year. But I'm going to pick him next year. I don't care anybody says. I've only seen like a few innings of this guy. But welcome to the show, O'Neal Cruz. You should have been here the whole time, but hey, better late than never.
True that.
True that. I'm going to go ahead and look up his stats. Granted, it is an extremely small sample size, but, so far, he has had really one game, 5 at-bats, batting .400, so far. He's
The no
knocked
doubter
in.
way.
Yeah, yes. He has a double. He has 2 hits, a double, 4 RBIs. He's struck out once, which that's it's fine. But I mean, in his very very small sample size,
He's human.
he is human. Oh man.
O'Neal Cruz confirmed human.
Yes, confirmed human. This guy. It's just, oh man, baseball is better when all the best players are playing. Period. End of story. So
yeah, it's a beautiful time of year up in Pittsburgh. They're not fooling around with service time manipulation. They could have a lot more people out there in the stands at PNC to get the yellow and black faithful out there. But yeah. Oh, hey Don Hale. Yes. Good evening. Go Rangers and Bass Pro.
And Bass Pro. Yes, my son. I tried to get my son to say "Go Astros," and he said "Go Bass Pros." Yes, because priorities, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Bass Pros is amazing. I mean,
it's like the Walmart of all outdoor stores.
Yes. I mean, come on. Like Santa goes to Bass Pro, and you can take a picture with your kids. You have to
Don't
go
they have like
there.
a giant like fish tank there? I think in the middle of the store.
They sure do.
Yeah. Then there's like a little like arcade style shooting range inside there. Bass Pro.
It will change your life. Cabela's is cool too.
Cabela's, so I feel like Cabela's is like the redneck Nordstrom, in my opinion.
True. Bass Pro does have some unique character to it.
Yeah.
As opposed
Bass
to
Bass Pro is like the endearing,
a little more redneck.
Yeah. Bass Pro is like the endearing, like outdoor mini mall of Middle America. Yeah. Yes. I went there back in like 2005 or 2004 with my dad. It was we just randomly were out there in Grapevine and went to the one. It's like right by Grapevine Mills out there, and yeah, it was funny, just fun little experience wandering around there.
You can get a 12 gauge and a canoe and go fishing.
live out all your country boy dreams out there.
Yes, do that kind of fishing. So anyway, enough getting sidetracked. It is time to get. Yeah, we digress massively. It is time to get into the meat of the show. Let us get with the recaps, doing it like we always do. T-Money, let's start things off in the East.
Yes, sir. Let's take it out east to the AL East. And folks, you already know how it is. It is the New York Yankees now are the first team this year in Major League Baseball to 50 wins this season. Just the other day, Garrett Cole did take a no-hitter into the 8th inning of that game. Did not ultimately finish the game with a no-hitter. All the way into the game, all the way into the 8th with that no-hitter. Still a really impressive performance by Mr. Cole. I know we've talked our smack about him before, but he is one of multiple Yankees guys have really stepped up and truly in a big way this year. It looks like the Yankees going to be reacquiring Albert Abreu off waivers from the Kansas City Royals. Just in the meantime here, yeah, this team just is elite in every facet of the game. How they're playing right now. I think they're 9-1 in their last 10 games here. If I've got it down correctly, got that 50th win of the year there. They're at nearly a 750 winning percentage of 746 right now. Plus 145 run differential. That still remains the best run differential in all of Major League Baseball. The Yankees, the Yankees are the hunted right now, but no one is taming them. They're they are just going out there and killing it in everything that they do.
Yeah, it reminds me of that year where the Rangers won over 100 games and they didn't make the World Series. I just think just because you have an amazing regular season.
I mean, we've seen it with the Dodgers in plenty of recent years. They have this amazing regular season. They don't make it that far into the month of October. So yeah, I mean, I'm not certainly I'm not I'm certainly not riding the bandwagon or talking them up or anything right now. I'm just giving them credit where it's due right now. That hey Yankees, for like the first time in 20 years, you're actually putting together a regular season that actually matches up with the talents that you have out on the field right now. But who knows? Does that actually translate into the month of October? We'll soon see. But we're not just talking about the Yankees here in this AL East. We're going to talk about a few other teams as well. And the next team that we're going to talk about is the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays, they're still they're still just it's kind of a little bit up and down, some more up slightly compared to down. Plus 23 run differential at this point of the year, 38 and 29. So that's 12 games. That's 12 games behind. 12 games behind the Yankees at this point in the division, but certainly that is at the top of the wild card race right now, and keeps them solidified in that hunt. And just even playing round 500 ball right there keeps them there, just with how top heavy this this American League is this year. Vlad Guerrero Jr. was named the American League Player of the Week the other day. You've got a lot of these Blue Jay guys dominating the All-Star votes right now. Alejandro Kirk continues to keep doing what he's doing lately as the catcher, being a really big part of that offensive lineup for him. 307, 397, 464 slashing. Vlad Guerrero Jr., like we said, it's kind of been his world, and we're all just living in it. It's up there north of the border. Alek Manoah, a flat 2 ERA right now with 8 wins, credit to him on the year, and 73 strikeouts as well. Kevin Gausman also with 80 strikeouts and a 3.21 ERA and 5 wins, credit to him on the year. Toronto's right there. Let's talk Boston real quick. The Red Sox. The Red Sox certainly, they really are looking like a much hotter team right now. They're up to a plus 50 run differential, 7-3 in their last 10 games. They've won a couple in a row right now, 37 and 31 on the year. With this Boston team, it's Rafael Devers, right?
Yes.
Rafi. I got him listed right here. Sorry, I thought I didn't have his name and it blanked on me. Rafael Devers continues to do a really good job with 16 home runs, 330 batting average, and 43 runs batted in. JD Martinez, obviously killing it as the DH this year, 335, 402, 542 slashing. Trevor Story, the second baseman, really that's looking more and more like a better acquisition as time goes on here. 45 runs batted in, 10 home runs. I see that batting average get up. That's a good power bat to have at that point in the lineup there. And there's only room to scale that up. Looking at the stats of where this team is now compared to a month ago, it really is looking like a night or day difference. And they're playing just so well right now that everything average wise is improving for them. 7th in runs right now in Major League Baseball, 322 on the year. 3rd in batting average at 258, 10th in on base percentage at 320, and then 6th in slugging percentage at 413. They've on the pitching side, ERA is now down to 362, which that is 8th best in all of Major League Baseball. 21 quality starts, tied for 18th. WHIP is at 7th at 1.18, and then walks allowed at 229. That's good for 6th in Major League Baseball. So everything is trending up right now for this Red Sox team. And the Red Sox are looking like if you see this type of play continue on through the second half of the year into the and they can solidify a wild card spot, get into the postseason. This could be a pleasant surprise kind of team compared to, I think, what we saw earlier in the year. But a lot of baseball to be played. And then the Tampa Bay Rays, they're just kind of dealing with some injuries right now that are really hurting them, especially on the outfield. Manuel Margot and then Kevin Kiermaier both are on the injured list right now. We've talked about it all year. There's just not been the consistency in the offense, and then the solidified kind of depth. I think maybe beyond quality starts, pitching wise, to really get this team in the top half of the American League right now. Still a lot of baseball to be played, but I'm really keeping an eye on the Boston Red Sox right now. They're playing some very good ball, and I think outside of the Yankees, they are they're the best team in that division.
Red Sox, I remember from our preseason look at their roster, I wasn't too impressed. Yeah, they're getting hot, that is for sure. I'm still not sold. I'm going to have to wait on the Red Sox. I put a lot of stake in the Blue Jays and the Rays because they just have deeper rosters, in my opinion. But it is all speculation. It is good to see the Red Sox get hot again because they were underperforming. The Jays continue to. Well, I mean, you have to look at it in perspective. The Yankees are just they're massively overperforming. They're just doing insane. And you look at the records of the Red Sox and the Jays and the Rays when compared to the rest of the league. I mean, they would be in first place in the Central. They would be like in second place in the NL Central. They would be pretty close to first place in the West, NL West. So it's just they're not doing bad. It's just the New York Yankees are just doing really, really, really good.
Yeah.
So that you have to put it in that perspective. It's just, man, it is a marathon though, and we're not even halfway done. So, guys, cool down. Still plenty of time, but
you've certainly said like you want to see the Yankees really once that second half of the schedule rolls around, and presumably you're gonna see it really get a lot more into the nitty gritty of it's this first half of the year. You see a lot more interleague play, those type of games happen, but then the second half schedules I think traditionally go a bit more heavier, really leaning into not only conference like key conference matchups league matchups that is. But also like your division as well too. So presumably, there's it'll be interesting to see when we get some more Yankees and Red Sox matchups and get more of these teams going head to head against each other here in divisions and understanding kind of based on how those finish out the regular season. Like look at the head to heads, look at really kind of key situational type of things and how those would project potential matchups come October, and then look at it then of like, okay, how are these teams going to do at that point?
Exactly, but we will see indeed. And from one New York led division to another, the National League East, New York Mets just continue to just ride high, all without Scherzer and DeGrom. And when it comes to this team, we've talked about the Mets offense. It's all there. You're split up, two ways to Sunday. You've got all the powerhouse and firepower in the world, and it's truly a team effort. This is something that they haven't had in the past. You got Lindor with 738 OPS, 11 bombs on the year. He is back in flying colors, and he's performing massively well. Pete Alonso, 19 bombs on the year. He is just the great one. I forget his nickname. I don't know if it's like the Panda Bear or the I don't know, whatever. But whatever they call him, it is truly fitting. Jeff McNeil,
Polar Bear.
The Polar Bear, Pete Alonso. How fitting. Man, Starling Marte fits like a glove. Brandon Nimmo fits like a glove. 778 OPS. Jeff McNeil, he's the comeback tour, baby. 850 OPS. Mark Canha, 779 OPS. Gotta love it. It's just so many offensive weapons. And pitching wise, they are holding their own. And they still have the two best pitchers coming back. I will touch on that in just a second. Chris Bassett, 403 ERA. Carlos Carrasco, 396. Taijuan Walker, 288. I mean, and then David Peterson, 318. I mean, for like your starters without Scherzer and DeGrom, that's pretty fantastic. And then Scherzer and DeGrom, let me give an update on their injuries. So Max Scherzer is going to make a rehab start today for Double-A Binghamton. So this is it, guys. This is the process. It's a very significant step in the process. So he starts a rehab start and they'll probably get a few more. And then before we know it, Max Scherzer will be back. Jacob deGrom, he threw a bullpen session earlier today with no issues. Correction, he threw a live batting practice session today. No issues. That is the start. You throw these batting practice sessions. It's almost like once you get to a point, you start spring training and you start getting your velocity up, and then they're going to do their rehab starts. So Scherzer's going to come back first, but then finally DeGrom will be back. And boy, oh boy, when they're both back, which for Scherzer, there's a good chance it'll be before the All-Star break. Jacob deGrom might be before, if not shortly after. But man, oh man, when those two guys are 100% and they're back, watch out, guys. I mean, they might just run away with this thing. But in the meantime, the defending champion Atlanta Braves are crawling back, baby. They have won 8 of their last 10 games. They're on a 2-game win streak. They want in on the action, and they have been underwhelming up to this point. I mean, the Mets have won 7 of their last 10 games, but the Braves have been going neck and neck with them. They're 5.5 games back. What is up with this team, the Braves? They're finally coming into their own. They are deep, in fact. Austin Riley, 842 OPS, 18 bombs on the year. What? Nobody knows who this guy is, and nobody cares. And you know what? We should start caring, because Austin Riley is criminally underrated. It's just, those numbers are insane. Slashing 256, 323, 519 slugging. My gosh, the guy does nothing but mash. Dansby Swanson, another underrated shortstop. This guy is an 827 OPS. He has a 466 slugging, 293 batting average. What? I mean, those guys are just, they're carrying him on their back. Ronald Acuna Jr., probably going to be an all-star. 812 OPS. The guy's already got 6 bombs, and he missed 2 months of the year. So, I mean, he's fitting in like a glove. The pitching is starting to settle in. I think this is one of the biggest keys for the Braves. Max Fried, 277 ERA. That's more like it. I know. I remember when it was near 4. Max Fried is a stud, and he's got a 105 whip to prove it. Kyle Wright, 294, another sub 3 ERA. Spencer Strider, this guy's got 245 ERA. That's more like it. Ian Anderson, 435. You want to see that dial down a bit. Charlie Morton he just can't find his stuff, which is unfortunate because, mark my words, this guy is insane. He might just be past his prime, though, which is unfortunate. The Braves might want to strongly think about getting another starter at the trade deadline. That is, if they want to keep the good times going. They got Colin McHugh, reliever, 365 ERA. Not, it's okay. AJ Minter, however, with a 124 ERA. This guy's rock solid. Kenley Jansen is their star closer. They got him from the Dodgers. The Dodgers are, they're fine without him. They're deep. And Kenley Jansen is repping a 303 ERA, and that's got to dial down too, but they're doing what they can, and it's encouraging to see. So, the one horse race starting to become a 2-horse race in the NL East. But again, we will see.
Yeah, it's man, what just a great story the Mets have been this year.
Yes.
The with guys like DeGrom and Scherzer being down, we just really, we're kind of like, okay, what else is there to show? And even acquisitions of guys like Starling Marte and others, there was just this team has just been mired in mediocrity for so long, and it's just been offense has been absolutely non-existent out there on Long Island. Henry Betancourt, correspondent here on the show, just left us a comment. Don't count the Braves out. We're certainly not, Henry. They're right there in striking distance here in this NL East. But yeah,
it's good to see you, Henry.
Yeah,
thanks for joining
right
the
now,
show.
it's for right now. The Mets very much are the hunted right now. Yeah,
yes.
Offense has been kind of non-existent out there on Long Island in recent years. But it's they're becoming a more complete team now at this point, and certainly that's got this is what's gonna happen. I feel like is either two things. It's like this team is truly going to take off when they get guys like DeGrom and Scherzer in that rotation. Or the team will somehow find a way to regress with those guys coming in. Oddly
Hey,
enough, it's I feel like that's my gut feel of like one of those two things is going to happen. I don't see them like keeping like just maintaining kind of like a status quo type of like how they are. It's going to go one of those two directions. I feel that's
yes,
just the gut feel.
will the Mets Met like they did last year? That is the ultimate question. And what I will say, Henry, is I did choose the Braves to make the World Series this year and the Blue Jays. So I am happy to see the Braves actually live up to their potential. The Blue Jays have to live up to their potential as well, because I just want the hipster, indie World Series matchup. I don't want LA, New York, which it's probably going to be that. Of course, we say that every year, but it never ends up being LA, New York. That's what everybody wants. But yeah, Mets. It would be cool to see him back in the World Series, though. I will take that. Just not the other evil empire team. So, all right, let's head on down to the Central.
Yes, sir. Let's take it out to the cornfields where the sunsets are long and beautiful at this time of year. Out in middle America, we are talking about the AL Central. I mean, yeah, we're not exactly playing cornfields here, but it is the Midwest of the United States for the most part here that we're talking about with this AL Central. I mean, really, it is the Midwest. So we're talking about here the Minnesota Twins still being on top, 38-30 on the year with a 559 winning percentage. They are just one game ahead, though, of the Cleveland Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
Guardians of the Midwest, they're coming, folks. They're they're on their way. And the Twins right now have that plus 25 run differential, but the Guardians have the plus 35, and they're 8-2 in their last 10 games.
Dang.
While the Twins are just 500 in that same span. The Twins, we've talked about them before. Luis Arias, Byron Buxton, Jorge Polanco have all been offensive leaders for this team. Joe Ryan has really kind of led the way with everything. But let's talk about this Cleveland Guardians team. Like, what's ultimately helping them out here? Really get in there. Offense really is kind of the offense is really the Jose Ramirez show out there in Cleveland. There, the star third baseman, right? Slugging 305, 397, and 642. 16 home runs on the year, 62 runs batted in. Just absolutely ridiculous numbers. I mean, there's a reason why that man is a favorite within the All-Star ballot running right now. But pitching is really, what was really starting to help out this team. And you can see it with that run differential growing comparative to the Twins right now. So you've got Tristan McKenzie. He has a 2.96 ERA on the year, 4 wins credited to him, and 61 strikeouts. Cal Quantrill is leading this team in wins as a starter at 4, and then also has a 3.77 ERA and 44 strikeouts on the year. Shane Bieber is the strikeout leader at 84. He has a 3 flat ERA and his 3 wins credited to him as well. You look at these pitching numbers for them. 6th in the league in ERA at 3.57, 31 quality starts. That's good for third. So then in the top 3 there, their WHIP is at 1.18, and then walks allowed is 9th in the league at 2.30 right now. They're just playing hot right now. The Guardians are, and they've got the opportunity certainly to do it. It's the question being like, hey, who has more of like the complete team? I think I think the Twins have more of the complete team to this point right now. But even though statistically wise, they're just not as maybe not as stout comparative to the Guardians. but the Guardians, I think, are playing better baseball at this point right now. I think it's just this AL Central is a division that's very non-conclusive as to who the best team is at this point in time right now. Just because there aren't a lot of strong teams, it's very much kind of a wait and see approach based on the schedule they're going to be playing there within that division. But yeah, Twins and the Guardians, they're the two teams right now to beat. The White Sox, like we said, just continue to be frustrating as they have been all year long right now. 32 and 33 on the year at this point now. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. But still, yeah, pitching just continues to be a major issue with that White Sox team. Apparently, Tony La Russa's job is safe from reports that I've heard.
Wow,
that he is
dumb.
he continues to remain in the good graces of the front office there on the South Side. I don't know what they're thinking here. I don't know how you. I mean, yeah, you're right. Just I guess yes, the White Sox. The White Sox are great with are cool with mediocrity. After all these years of rebuilding over the past decade, and all just like the really poor baseball that has been played, you've got all this talent now, great farm system, and you are cool with just being a 500 baseball team and having
sad. Their fans aren't.
Yeah, and having a lineup that changes more than the members of Leonard Skinner. Like that's like it's I don't know, man. I feel for White Sox fans right now. I feel for the city of Chicago, both just baseball, the state of things right there between them and the Cubs right now. Like, yeah, you may touch on the Cubs and what's going on and next with the NL Central there, but it's just as much, if more, of a raging dumpster fire right now. Baseball is just not good right now in the city of Chicago, and it's really unfortunate especially with this White Sox team, that there was high expectations heading into the year. But I agree with your tweet that you put out. I think you were responding to Ashley Sanders, I think the other day, of like, hey, someone like a Gabe Kapler or an AJ Hinch would be
a progressive-minded manager.
Yes, a progressive-minded manager that would be perfect for young guys and the type of players that they have on this team now. And that could really help with the development of just some of them. So we have no control over here. We have to say that it is the same old kind of status quo of what's going on right now with the White Sox. But very hard baseball to watch for sure.
Yeah, I feel bad for fans like Ashley Sanders. Now, granted, they haven't won since 05, which they swept the Astros, but it's just sad. The more I look at the Twins, the more I'm impressed by them. I really think they have a lot of staying power. And the Guardians, they've been they've been staying in the thick of it really for a while now, and they're one game back at this point. I mean, I don't know. You got to think that, I don't know, they might have some, Shane Bieber, Jose Ramirez, of course, Shane Bieber, my Cy Young pick, is a little underwhelming. He'll win it one of these days, I swear, or he might just be a guy who's just perpetually good, but not good enough. But anyway, yeah, White Sox need a new manager, and if he's safe, that's just dumb. Like, if you're a White Sox fan, you just throw your hands up in the air and just say, this is stupid. Yeah, Detroit Tigers, it just looks like their moment of glory is just 5 years down the line.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I feel bad for them because they haven't experienced glory in a while. But for White Sox fans, you got to be just frustrated because you're more capable of more. You're kind of in the golden era-ish, but I don't know. We'll see.
You should be still the early window opening kind of spot right now here. Exactly. You should be as good, if not better, than you were last year. And so certainly, window's not anywhere close to closing, but it's like you should be better. You should not be in this
Exactly.
position right now.
Yeah. So, oh man, we'll see if Tony Russa stays. You can just direct your ire to the front office. They deserve it. That's for sure.
Meanwhile, there will be many more fire Tony chants coming from
Fire Tony
from the stands down there on the south side.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Moving on to the NL Central, not a whole lot to report here. It's still a 2-horse race between the Brewers and the Cardinals. As of this recording, the Brewers have a 1-game edge over the Cardinals. However, I think it's not a whole lot. It's just the Brewers are on a 4-game win streak, which they're hot. The Cardinals have lost 2 games in a row. But I just think the Cardinals are a more complete team. Offensively, the Brewers just don't scream excellence at me. I mean, yeah, Yelly is starting to come back a little bit, but still a little below average. Rowdy Tellez, 776 OPS, pretty solid. Hunter Renfroe, 799 OPS, 13 bombs on the year. You got Willie Adames with 13 bombs on the year, but it's just you don't have like ultra superstars offensively. Pitching wise, my Cy Young pick, Corbin Burns, 2.31 ERA is pretty rock solid. He can definitely improve and become even more elite. You got the best closer in the game, Josh Hader, a 0.87 ERA. But I just think until that offense can just really take off, it's the Cardinals' division to lose. And I am starting to become a believer. Why? Because the Cardinals have offensive powerhouse. Tommy Edman, 4.1 wins above replacement, which is stupid high. 7 bombs on the year, slashing 280, 356, 420. Paul Goldschmidt is Paul Goldschmidt. I mean, he's a 614 slugging, 16 bombs on the year. Stupid. Nolan Arenado, 831 OPS, 13 bombs on the year, 488 slugging, 270 average. I mean, Paul Goldschmidt, 339 average. At this point in the game, that's insane. 417 on base percentage. I mean, if Paul Goldschmidt if he's not like a starting all-star this year, it's rigged. He's the definition of someone who deserves it and no one else at first baseman. Pitching wise, Miles Mikolas almost threw a no-hitter the other day. 2.64 ERA. Adam Wainwright, 3.06 ERA, which is phenomenal. Dakota Hudson, 3.31 ERA. And Andre Palante, 1.69 ERA. I mean, what? It's just I'm hopping on the Cardinals bandwagon. I just think they just have something. I think it's
told you. There was a reason I had that team as the winning the NL Central this year.
Yeah, it's just they got so much good going for them. They're having fun. Pujols is back. You got Wainwright and Molina. They just have a lot going for them. And you know what? If they win the division, that's going to be really good for them because they'll be in a high seed moving into the card. I don't know if they will have the number 1 and the number 2 seed, which that would mean they would get a bye. So they would go into a best of 3 series. But the higher seed they are, the better. They'll have home field advantage if they make the playoffs. And it's just like in 2011, they can be one of those teams where as soon as you make the playoffs, anything can happen. And they'll have the Pujols magic, baby. He'll come in, he'll hit a clutch homer. And I don't know. It's just the sky's the limit for this Cardinals team. And they have one of the largest fan bases in the world. Like it's a fan base that contends with the Yankees. And they are absolutely loving life right now. So Brewers, they could still make a wild card theoretically, but I just think the Braves are getting caught. I think you have too many teams in the West. So I don't know. St. Louis, I'm pulling for you. So, and then Pirates are 10.5 back, Cubs 13 back, Reds 14.5 back. I mean, not even really worth talking about. The Chicago Cubs, they expected mediocrity. They knew it wasn't time. The South Side, however, they wanted to keep the party going, and somebody's pulled the fire alarm. So There you go. That's what's happening in Middle America.
I love it. Now we're going to go all out west.
Yes.
Once again, we're not fully out west. Once again, we're really just going to keep it here. Actually, we'll give a brief nod to the Angels here in a second. But what it comes down to here is that this continues to be the Astros division right now. Not a whole lot to report here. Yordan Alvarez is day to day right now due to a hand injury. I believe that's still the case. Is he back in the lineup yet? Boom.
To Yordan Alvarez?
Yes.
He not only is he back in the lineup, but as of this recording, he hit a home run.
I stand corrected. The man is back. He hit a home run. We know he's been a huge part of that offensive success.
MVP,
for this team
MVP.
Year. Yes, MVP category quality here. The Astros, they're just 500 here over their last 10 games. They've got the 53 plus 53 run differential right now. They can struggle with runners in scoring position. They can struggle, with situational type of matters when they're at the plate. But there's nobody really to challenge the Astros. And they once again they have the benefit of they're still probably going to play really, really good. They maybe will play a little bit down their competition, but they're going to play really, really good against good teams here in the American League. They're still going to get those key series wins over the bottom type of teams like the Orioles, the Tigers, the Royals. My Rangers, unfortunately, right now the Silver Boot is going to remain down in Space City right now because the Rangers still just can't seem to get their woes taken care of against the Astros. But yeah, the Astros. You're just have to be our correspondent here with them, Boom. Like I've kind of echoed your thoughts of things similar, just from what I read. It seems like is that same type of situation of you've got Verlander, you've got really good pitching, you've got power at the plate, but you just like be nice to see a little bit more than power when it comes to the offense here for this Astros team. If you really wanted to feel good about them making a deep run into October.
Yeah, so in the immediate term, the biggest thing they have to deal with is the injuries. Pena has a thumb injury. He took some swings in the batting cage, and I think he's going to be coming back pretty soon. So he looked pretty good today in the batting cage. Lance McCullers threw a bullpen session today and took part in fielding drills on the mound. So Lance McCullers is probably going to come back, if not before the All-Star break, shortly afterwards. That would be huge. Jake Odorizzi is going to start his rehab assignment on Friday in AAA Sugarland. We need him back because, he started to figure things out. I'm ultimately not worried about the Astros. Jake Myers, who could be their starting center fielder, is going to be coming back. I just think that they are inconsistent offensively. They are not. They are consistent pitching wise overall. If you look at their overall numbers, both from the bullpen and starters, so it's just one question: offense. If the offense is going to show up, and if they show up,
they're as good as any team in Major League Baseball.
Absolutely.
But they really, I think it's kind of a glaring hole if the offense doesn't perform up to par with this team.
Yep. There you go.
Yep. And then they are the only team above 500 right now in this division. Both the Angels and the Rangers are 10 games behind right now, just under 500. The Angels, things have gotten better since Joe Madden was shown the door. But they're back. They're back in a good spot. They're back trending in the right direction, especially I think offensive wise now. Plus 5 run differential at this point, so still quite a ways off. The Rangers here, the Rangers once again, it looks like with my Rangers, they're good pieces to be excited about for the future here, but this just offensively, it's not fully complete here in this lineup to really for this to be a great team this year, and not quite the consistency that you would like to see. night to night from pitching, both starting and bullpen wise as well too. Just on a more positive note, I'm taking this as a positive right now. I saw this from the Rangers Instagram account earlier. They are in their stories right now. As of about halfway through the day, so around lunchtime today, Corey Seager was 7th among shortstops in All-Star votes. Jonah Heim 9th among catchers, and then Marcus Semien 10th among second basemen. So it's yeah, the just positives like that, like certainly that they're in the running. The likeliness of those guys shooting up to the top there and getting a whole bunch of votes at the end to get in there, probably not great, but just a little. So somewhat confirmed some of my homerism and the picks that I made with Seager and Heim for the All-Star votes.
Homer.
But yeah, it's certainly this Rangers club continues to play a lot better baseball than last year. It's a lot more watchable right now. Ezekiel Duran has been kind of one of these really cool sparks for this team since he was brought up. Just this team looks really raw at times. Still, I think we're seeing it as more of like, you can see sparks of talent early on in the season, but it can be a bit of a fool's gold because you get into the grind. You just experience more of what the game is, that as Kyle Blanks talked about when he came on our show, that it is defined more by failure than it is succeeding, and like really getting in the mindset of that. And I think you're seeing that with some of these guys right now. They're just having to go trial by fire at this point in time. But I think the future, I feel like I'm repeating myself on this, but I believe the future is bright for the Texas Rangers right now. I may not be a giant gleaming aurora beam of light coming from the windows of Globe Life Field there at Allen Arlington, but there's a bit of a spark there, which is good.
Yep, we will ultimately see wild card maybe. Well, it is not completely out of the question.
No, I mean they remain right there in striking distance for a wild card spot with the expanded field this year. So yeah. So I mean it's fun. You're seeing a lot of people once again this year attending games. The Globe Life Field experience. I think it's more in the Globe Life Field experience. It's the Texas Rangers experience that's coming back now. Fans are getting excited about baseball again out in Arlington, so that's a really good thing. And with when you look at teams, they're developing, certainly right now in the DFW area, the Dallas Mavericks over on the basketball side of things, like they lead the excitement there. The Cowboys will always be the Cowboys, and the car crash you can never look away from. Yes. The Stars got back in the playoffs this year, so it's kind of right. It's right there. It's like, hey, what Rangers, step up, like get back in the conversation to something to care about here with DFW sports again. And I think they're doing that. It looks like they're trending in that right direction.
Gotta represent the big D for the win.
Yes, sir.
All right. And last but not least, we going over to the NL West. The Dodgers and the Padres are still tied for first place. The Dodgers have about 114 run differential, whereas the Padres only have 65. But the Padres, I'm starting to become a believer in these Padres. Their offense is stacked, and it's all without Fernando Tatis Jr. I mean, it's Manny Machado, it's Jurickson Profar, it's Jake Cronenworth. I mean, all these guys, they got 945, 754, 77, 771 OPS, respectively. Manny Machado is an all-star in the making. Pitching-wise, you got Joe Musgrove, 159. This guy is a front runner for the Cy Young, which is insane. The man who got away from the Houston Astros for sure. Yu Darvish, his ERA just continues to go down, down, down. 317 as of the time of this recording. Sean Manaea, 395. Nick Martinez, 403. This Padres squad, they've got some firepower, and it's all without Tatis, which, speaking of Tatis, it is not looking too great because last we checked, it did not, his wrist did not reveal the desired level of healing that they wanted. So the return date has gotten pushed back, and it's just it really is frustrating. You just got to wonder, like, when the heck is he going to come back? And no one really knows. So, but in the meantime, they are staying in the competition. But they have to deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are the most stacked team on paper in baseball. And I mean, you got Trey Turner, 9 bombs, 833 OPS. Freddie Freeman, 831 OPS. Mookie Betts, 17 homers, 884 OPS. Absolute insanity. Gavin Lux, that guy's a stud too. This guy's got 749 OPS. Cody Bellinger, 8 bombs on the year. This guy's starting to have a little bit of a comeback here. Justin Turner is underwhelming, which is unfortunate, but you just have someone else to pick him up. I mean, Chris Taylor, one of the best utility men in all of baseball with a 769 OPS. I mean, all these numbers are great, and some more stellar than others. And from a pitching standpoint, it's still pretty stacked. Julio Urias with a 2.56 ERA. You got Tony Gonsolin with a 1.58 ERA, which is insane. That guy is turning out to be a stud and a workhorse on their squad. Tyler Anderson, 2.82 ERA. Walker Buehler, yeah, it's a 4.02 ERA. Again, want to see that go back down. Walker Buehler, a lot of people picked him to win the Cy Young. What the heck, Walker? Buehler. I mean, this is your time to shine. And in fact, speaking of Buehler, he was moved to the 60-day injured list. Stab in the heart. It's good for the Padres, not good for the Dodgers. So, but hey, I mean, they can. It's not all bad. You say at least you got Clayton Kershaw back, and Clayton Kershaw, while his innings are low, he is still filthy in moderation. So, the Giants are 3.5 back. You can never count them out either. Chris Rodon is a stud. Ultimately, I think it's just still going to be close. I mean, I just don't know if the Dodgers can really pull away like the Yankees or the Mets at this point. Even though they are stacked, they gotta put in the wins. They gotta be like a 50-win team. They can't be a 40-25 win team like they are now. They have to be a 50-win team. They gotta put it in. They gotta make it happen. So, but ultimately we will see. It is nice to see some competition. It is the most competitive division because you got two teams tied for first. So naturally, it is nice when the West is competitive and there's a party going on. There you go. That does it. Just exciting races all around.
Yes, sir. And we've got some movement in our power rankings, don't we?
We sure do, a little bit more than usual. Again, the subjectivity knows no bounds. In the number 10 position, the Blue Jays, still in the thick of it, just barely, though. They move down 3 spots. The Giants starting to win some, so they move up to the number 9 spot. Twins cooling down a bit, but they are still hot in number 8. Braves, man, the defending champs are coming back with a vengeance at number 7. Cardinals cooling down a little bit at the number 6 position, but they are still in the top 10. They still have some relevance. Astros, you can call out the homer if you want, but hey.
Yeah, I'd flip those two here. You're moving down the Cardinals 2, but putting the Astros up 3. Come on, man.
Hey, they won on Sunday Night Baseball, and it was on Father's Day. They won the series. Okay,
so that's the qualifier here. Gotcha.
Hey, look at the record. It speaks for itself. So the Astros shamelessly are in the number 5 position. Number 4, the Padres going down a spot. They are hot. You got to put the Dodgers above them, though. I mean, I just think their run differential speaks for itself. They move up 2 slots, number 3 position. And then the top 2, it gets boring. It feels like we say it every single week. It's the Mets at number 2 and the Yankees at number 1. New York. Big market. Ugh. So, will it be that way forever? we will ultimately see. So there you go. Thank you all for joining and for commenting. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Henry. We'd love to see y'all comment again. So join us for all of our shows. Comment. If you comment, you will be a part of the show. You will get your moment of glory. So, thank y'all so much. You made the show fun. We get to talk about Bass Pro. So, and other random things. But all right, T-Money, I'm going to turn it over to you. Let's land the plane.
Well, friends, do you want to comment on our show? Do you want to be part of a community of people that love the game of baseball? Or, as we say, we're not just for people that love the game of baseball. We are also, about the skeptics and the casuals alike. Ultimately, if you care about the sport in any sort of fashion, we want you here with us. So, how to do that? First off, make sure that you're subscribed to our podcast wherever you get it, really Spotify, Apple, Google. We're on all platforms. Our YouTube channel specifically, that is how... that is one of the ways in which we do this video broadcast for it. We've also got it streamed out on the show's Facebook and Twitter pages, along with our personal Twitter pages as well, Boom and Eyes. So if you're following any of those, you can see when we go live. You can tune in there. You can comment at us. We'll throw it up on the screen there and chat along with you about whatever is going on at the time. Go on and leave us a review to let us know how you're enjoying the show. Make sure you've liked us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Boom and I are on Twitter as well, at Boombostic21 and at Travis Lawfully. You can connect with us there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, our Patreon, we've had up for a while now. We've got several different levels in there that can give you an even greater level of access to No Doubter. And in common with all of them is that we make sure that you are recognized for being a part of making the show possible. And so we do a couple of people right now that are part of our Patreon community that have been part of that. That is our longest standing patron, Mr. Tad Bostic, and our Patreon producer, Mr. Don Hale, who commented tonight on our show. Check out our merch store at TeePublic. They've done a great job of putting together t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, baseball shirts, crew neck sweatshirts, phone cases. So many items with the No Doubter logo on there. Whether you're out and about, at the office, whatever you're doing in life, you can have some No Doubter swag and you can help spread the word about our show. You'll see all those important links in the description below. Boom, close us out with the line.
Let's do it, guys. So, whatever you got going on this week, you're watching the World Series, you're watching Major League Baseball, whatever you're watching, whatever you're enjoying, if you're working on vacation, do it the No Doubter way. Bat 400, always swing for the fences. It is the only way to go. Until then, we will see y'all later this week for College World Series baseball action. All baseball, all the time. Joining us, subscribe. Let's do this, baby.